Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Robin, for the introduction. And I know that you guys are like all looking at me with deer in headlights going, oh my gosh, we have to sit here and listen to somebody else today talk for another hour of our time. And I know that you guys have busy schedules, so I'm going to try to make this as interactive as possible. I promise I'm not a professor, so I'm not going to stand up here and lecture at you with a bunch of useless data that you're not going to use for the rest of your life. But I am going to share with you some information from a book that John Maxwell wrote called Talent is Never Enough. And this book has actually had an impact on my life, not only from the standpoint of athletics, but also from the standpoint of life and also business. Because you have to face the facts that, you know, maybe for our football guys up here in the front and maybe some LPGA professionals sitting in here, once we stop playing collegiate sports, what happens? We end up going out into life, we end up going out into business, and we have to have the skills necessary to be successful in that arena of our life as well. So the one thing that I want you guys to do is, everybody got cell phones? For once, you get to take them out right now. If you have them, take them out and text to me, to that phone number up there, your name and your email address. I promise. I'm not going to haunt you. And we will not confiscate your phones yet. So just as simple as that, just your name and your email address to 561-401-0337. And then when you're done with that, just kind of wave it in the air to let me know you're done. And then you can turn it off and put it away for the duration of the workshop. And basically what you're going to get for this is I will forward you the presentation for today in case you want to re-review anything that we go over, or if you want to share it with anybody that you are interested in sharing it with. Thank you. You're welcome. So basically a little bit about me. I was an athlete here from 1995 to 1998. I did play volleyball for Coach Jody Brown. I only have one representative of volleyball here, which is Daria, so I appreciate everybody else coming out today. I was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2007 here, so if you're ever in the arena and you do see Kim Pruitt on the plaque, that actually is me. I do exist. When I left college, I got into medical sales. I was in medical sales for about 10 years. Very successful in that, and I will say to you that businesses do look for athletes as targets for professionals in their business because of all of the skill sets that you guys develop while you're here. You know, you have to have time management, you have to have discipline, you have to have persistence, you have to be able to handle rejection. Those are the kind of qualities that employers look for. So the things that you're developing now are not only for on the court or on the field, but they're also for your future success. Right now, I actually am a thriving entrepreneur. I'm the CEO of License to Thrive, which is a leadership and personal development company, which Robin was talking about. I do travel around speaking as well as doing a lot of engagements with John Maxwell, who I don't know if you guys know of him. I know that the athletic department has given out books in the past in regards to who he is and the books that he provides, but he talks about the 17 qualities of a team player, the 17 laws of teamwork. He actually has written the book, Talent is Never Enough, that we will talk a little bit about tonight. So I'm fortunate enough to have him as a mentor in my life, and he actually has a company, and I'm a certified speaker for him. Launching the Leadership Diva, which you'll see on that page. I know that sounds a little crazy, but we're trying to bring some positiveness to a word that might have a negative connotation. We all like to think of divas as being positive, so that actually is going to be a brand that helps develop influence through victorious attitudes. And so that can be athletics, that can be business, that can be life, that can be relationships. Whatever area of your life you feel that you can be a positive influence on somebody else, you know, this is bringing forward the characters and the qualities to be able to do that. CEO of Real Divas, it's a real estate investment company. It's something that my husband and I have done together, and I actually do travel nationwide speaking for, if anybody watches A&E, Flip This House. If you've ever seen Armando Montalongo, I actually speak for him on the weekends. So that's just a little bit about me. But the one thing I want you guys to do here, which might be a little bit different than being in a regular class and having to take notes on anatomy and physiology of a frog or calculus equations that you're not going to use in life. What I want you to do is, as we go through this presentation, if there is something that you think you need some time on, you really want to let that point sink in, put a T next to it. Hope everybody has pens or pencils, okay? If you see something on there, or I talk about something that you feel you need to change in your life, put a C next to it. If there's something on there that you do particularly well, put that big happy smiley face on there. If there's something on there that you feel you need to apply to your life, put an A next to it. And if there's something on here that you feel would be beneficial for you to share with your roommates, your teammates, your family members, then go ahead and put an S next to that. Fair enough? Yeah? Okay. Let me ask you a question, because I was walking around before. How many people do I have from football? I got all my football players in the front row, so I got to watch out, make sure they don't tackle me. All right, how many people do I have from basketball? All right, I got a couple basketball players. I know I got one volleyball. How about tennis? All right, cool deal. Cool deal. How about soccer? Okay, a couple soccer players. Baseball's playing tonight, right? And softball's playing tonight. So, all right, I'll let them go. So then I got swimming and diving, and I've got golf, right? Who else is represented here? Track and field, right. And then I had a whole bunch of cheerleaders that were ready to come in here. I thought we were going to have like a rah-rah session, but all right, well, maybe they'll show up. All right, here's my question to you. What are your thoughts? Do you think that talent is enough? Yep, I'm asking you the question. Is talent enough? For sports? For business? For life? What do you think? No. If it's not, then what do you need to be successful? Communication. What else? Discipline. What else? Money? Okay, well, I guess, it all depends. Like I said, we're kind of talking about this book here, all right? This is a book that John Maxwell wrote, Talent is Never Enough. Bottom line is, when I played volleyball here, I had the talent. That wasn't a question. The question was, what was my attitude? How responsible was I? Did I slack at practice? There's a lot of different things that go into the fact that my talent couldn't always carry me. And there was a lot of times that I got benched because talent wasn't going to get me to where I needed to be with a poor attitude, or with being irresponsible, or with slacking off. So what I want you guys to do with me, all right, in his book he talks about 13 choices that are going to take you beyond your talent. And they're going to help you no matter how gifted you are. But these are things that you have to work on applying to your life. So you guys say them with me. All right, the first one, belief lifts your talent. Second? All right, initiative. Focus. Preparation. Practice. Perseverance. Courage. Teachability. Character. Relationships. Responsibility. And teamwork. All right, that's 13. I don't want to scare you. We're not going over all 13 of them, I promise. But we're going to go over 2 of them tonight that from experience I think is going to help you not only on the court but off the court. Not only in athletics but also in life. So if you guys would be open-minded with me, we'll kind of go through the 2 choices that I picked was focus to direct your talent and responsibility to strengthen your talent. And if you look in the middle there, it says, we make our choices and our choices make us. It's extremely important to understand that because I know that you guys are here in college, mom and dad are away, coach isn't with us 24 hours a day, and there's choices that you have to make when you don't have anybody else around. And ultimately, it's those choices that are going to make you. So if you look at it, focus directs your talent. And my question to you is, why is it so difficult to focus on one single goal? I mean, I'm sitting in here and I'm looking at kicking game goals and like about 12 different things that go under that. And then I don't know, we have offensive goals over here. So why is it so hard for us to focus on one single goal? Your enthusiasm is volcanic right now. I'm like looking into a sea of eyes. But look, I was where you are. I know what it's like, because I know your typical day. You probably got up, swimming and diving, you probably swam this morning, 5 o'clock, 5:30. Then you went to class. Then you had to be back at the pool. Now you're having to sit through this. Football, you probably had morning lifting, went to class, went and practiced, came back in here, watched videos. Now you're sitting here, and then you may have to go home and study and do something else after that. I know what Jody Brown does to us. So morning beach workouts, then class, then practice, then something else, and then, homework. So here's the thing. It's a lot to juggle. You're juggling school, you're juggling sports, you're juggling relationships, you're juggling your family, you're juggling your social life, which you may or may not have right now. It is a lot to juggle. So focus is going to be very important for us going through this. And this is where we have to be really quiet because the audio doesn't work except for on my computer. Bottom line is, a lot of times we get focused on too many other things. We focus on the future, we focus on the past, and as Jim Elliott says, wherever you are, be there. Because here's the thing, you can't change what happened yesterday, and you can't project about what's going to happen tomorrow. There's nothing that you can do other than the moment that you're in. So if you think about it, a couple of things that'll help you use focus to your best ability is to remember that yesterday ended last night. And if you look at this, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. Don't dwell on the past play, don't dwell on the past game, don't dwell on the past practice, don't dwell on the past tournament. It's gone. There's nothing that you can do about it but learn what needs to be changed, make the change, and do it better the next time. If you try to live in the past, you're never going to get to where you need to be now. And believe me, I had times I ruined games. I ruined weekends. I mean, I'd get yanked because 3 points ahead, I was still stuck 5 points back. I'd hit a ball out of bounds, I'd think it was the end of the world. Oh my gosh. So then of course, I shag a pass. I miss this. It'd be like, Dre, you're offensive line, right? So you're going to do what? You're going to go score a point? No, you're not. See? You're going to protect the quarterback. So what happens if the quarterback gets sacked? It's your fault. But now if you think about that being your fault on the next play, then what happens? Then you mess up again. Then we got a problem. And then Dre's going to sit by Coach Schnellenberger or whoever the new coach is now and think about what he needs to do and change for the future, right? It's the same thing here, and it's the same thing in life in general. We all make mistakes. It's going to happen because nobody's perfect. So this is a great example. Don't let yesterday take up too much of today. And our good old Will Rogers says that. But if you think about it, look at a rearview mirror. We always have to look in the rearview mirror to see where we came from. But if we look too long, we're not going to be able to go forward. And I want you to think of a car. Everybody's got a car, right? Well, you might have a bike on campus, but anyway, you got a car, you've at least driven in one before. How big's the windshield? Big. How big's the rearview mirror? Why? You want to go forward, so you've got a big windshield so you could see where you're going. You only have that little rear view mirror because you only spend a small amount of your time going backwards in life, right? We don't want to keep going in reverse. We want to go forward. So that's the thing here, is just to remember, check there for where you came from, but look forward to where you want to go. All right. Here's the thing on focus. You have to be intentional about your focus. So here's something. John Maxwell wrote another book called Today Matters. And in it, he wrote The Daily Dozen. And so basically, on a daily basis, you read through these in the morning so you can set your intention for the day. Now, I'm going to ask you guys to read through these with me. So just for today, exactly. You choose to display the right attitude. You wake up in the morning, you decide, am I going to be in a good mood? Am I going to be in a bad mood? Am I going to give my all at practice? Am I not going to give my all at practice? Am I going to go to class? Am I not going to go to class? That's your choice. What's the second one? I will determine and act on priorities. How many people on a weekly basis sit down and write down what their priorities are for the upcoming week? Awesome, awesome. So I do have several of you in here that do that. Here's the thing. You guys have so much going on. Like we said before, you've got practice, you've got social life, you've got games, you've got traveling, you've got tests, you've got all these things that you have to do. If you don't prioritize what you need to really get done, then other things that aren't as much of a priority are going to take over. And then we're going to be trapped because it's like that 80-20 rule. We want to spend like 20% of our time getting 80% of it done. We want to work the smart way. So determine your priorities. Next one. You guys are not participating. I will know and follow healthy guidelines. Like I said before, you don't have mom and dad with you anymore. You don't have mom and dad cooking you dinner every night. You don't have coach with you 24/7. You don't have anybody saying, okay, get up and have a bowl of oatmeal for breakfast and a glass of orange juice, and then make sure you eat lunch and you choose healthy things to go in your body. Those are your decisions, okay? But I can tell you that having been in your shoes, you have to make the right choices in order to fuel your body for competition. That's like a no-brainer. Next one. Communicate with and care for your family. I don't know where everybody's from in this room. Somebody give me an idea. Miami. All right, how about you? Yeah. Switzerland. Wow, very cool. I don't know what her first name is. What's your first name? All right, Alan, where are you from? Orlando. Dre, where are you from? Orlando. Ashley? Tampa. All right, Will? Pensacola. Nicole? New Jersey. Very cool. All right, let's see. You're from Brazil? Awesome. You probably got the long distance award. How about Stefan? Sebastian. Oh, very cool. All right, so here's the thing. You guys are all away from your family, right? And right now you're probably thinking, heck yeah, I got no more mom and dad around. I can do what I want to do. The thing is, and I can tell you right now, based on something that I'm going through in my own personal life right now, reach out and call your family. Let them know that you're thankful for their support. let them know how much you care about them. All right? My mom and dad are right here with me tonight. They never missed a volleyball game. They never missed a tournament. They're not even missing me speak tonight, okay? You know, we're dealing with medical challenges in the family right now. You never know. You just never know when that person isn't going to be there anymore. So I'm going to highly recommend that that is one high priority on your list, is reaching out and calling your family. I know that not everybody comes from a great relationship with their family. I get that. But make that step and reach out. All right, next one. All right, good thinking. That goes in your mind stays in your mind. All right, you feed your mind bad stuff, you're going to think bad stuff. So just make sure that you're filling your mind with good, positive things. Next. All right, you guys did a great job of that tonight. All right, you showed up on time. I can tell you, early, on time for practice is usually early, okay? If you show up on time, you're already late. Same thing in business. You get out of here and you go into the world and you go to interview for a job. If you show up for the interview on time, If you're going in and you're making appointments and you're making commitments to go see clients or keep, dates, make sure that you do that. And be responsible with that time. If you're going to be late, make sure that you let somebody know that. All right, next one. Yeah, I know you guys are probably giggling at me for that one, because you guys are like, what finances? I know. I was in your shoes. Even as a scholarship athlete, I know we didn't get too much. And we have to manage that. We have to pay our room. We have to pay our board. We have to pay our food. We have to pay our gas. We have to maybe take friends out once in a while. And then at the end of it, we don't have anything left. And then we're calling mom and dad saying, hey, can you guys please send some money? I can tell you that I wasn't too good at this when I was here, and I ended up $15,000 in debt when I left. Now, that's being a full scholarship athlete, but I know we can't work. I know that our hands are tied with that, so I used to work during the summer and make as much money as I possibly could. But then I got, on the breezeway there, all those nice credit card companies soliciting you guys for, you get a free T-shirt, you get a free water bottle. I don't know what they give out nowadays. And they give you credit cards. As long as you're responsible with it, it's cool, But you start racking up and spending money you don't have, you get out of school, and you got stress from the get-go. All right? Next one. All right. I'm not here to preach. I'm definitely not a preacher. You could ask me a scripture, and I wouldn't probably be able to tell you that. But what I do think is that faith, as described here, could be as simple as faith in yourself, faith in your teammates, faith in your coach. It's believing that you can do something. If you are from a background where you do believe in a power greater than yourselves, invest in that, deepen that, and live that out. Next one. Yep. We're going to talk about that later, but this is a big thing. You surround yourself with quality people that bring you up, you're going to be successful. If you continue to surround yourself with people that are going to bring you down, self-explanatory. Next. All right, and now people may be thinking, oh, well, I don't have any money, so I don't have to worry about being generous. But it's not about money. It's about you. It's about your time. It's about how you interact with other people. What if it's, giving somebody a ride to practice? What if it's helping somebody carry their books if they've got something going on? What if it's, reaching out to a teammate who had a hard time at practice or who might be going through something? We can talk also about generosity being giving of your time. I know a lot of times as student athletes, we did volunteer projects together. And that was a way of giving back our time and being generous to those who were less fortunate than we are. Because you got to consider yourselves, just the fact that we live where we live, we have a roof over our heads, we have food to eat, we have a car to drive. We're like in the top echelon of wealth in America. And you guys may be saying to yourself, I don't have $5 in my wallet right now, so you really don't know what you're talking about. But there's a lot of people out there that would love to be in the situation and in the seats that you guys are filling right now. What's the next one? All right, good values. I can't tell you what your values are. I don't know what your values are. I can tell you you probably have team values. There's probably athletic department values. But your individual values are your individual values. And you have to live up to those. Every day I'm in my office, and my values are sitting right beside where I work, so that I can look at those on a daily basis and see if I'm living up to what my intention is. So that may be a project that you guys can do on your own. Next one. All right, with a show of hands, how many people in here are as best as they can possibly be? As best as they can possibly in every arena of life. How come I don't have any hands? No hands? Why is that? Always room for improvement, exactly. Here's the thing. Is Tiger Woods perfect? I know. He just came in second at the Honda Classic, and you know what? That's not winning. Nope. How about Donald Trump? What do you think? You think that no. He's gone bankrupt multiple times. He's made bad financial decisions, but he learns from those and moves on. The whole reason that you guys are sitting right here, okay, maybe because the athletic department told you had to pick a class and come to it. All right? But, this class is a little bit different than some other classes you might learn about, but you're here to improve. You go to practice to improve. You go to all sorts of different things. You go to seminars to improve. You go to training camps to improve. You go to class to improve your knowledge. There's always room for improvement. And the day that you think that you have no more room to improve is the day that somebody surpasses you. What's the next one? So act on these decisions and practice these disciplines. That's up to you. I'll give you the knowledge. It's up to you to decide what you're going to do with it. And what's the final one? See the compounding results of a day well lived. Because at the end of the night, what did I say I do in the morning? Wake up and read these, right? Set my intention for the day. What do I do at the end of the night? Read these and see if I did what I intended to do. Because if you don't make focus your intention, you're going to lose focus, just like the Karate Kid did. So focus on results. It says beach workouts and ice cream. I know that doesn't really seem like it goes together, but here's the thing. When I played every morning at 5 o'clock or 5:30, that alarm went off, and I used to swear under my breath, I got to go to the beach again. I hated the beach. I tell you, when I graduated, I didn't go to the beach for a couple years because I couldn't even stand to walk in the sand after all those beach workouts. I didn't even step foot in a gym because I didn't want to work out. But my beach workouts, my focus, my end result was the conference championship. 1998, FAU won their first conference championship in volleyball. And I was on that team. And that was the intention that we set before when the season started. So yeah, I didn't want to get up and go to beach workouts. I didn't want to get up and do suicides. I didn't want to get up and lift weights. But my ultimate goal, my ultimate result was a championship that would have brought the first one to the school. So it was a motivating factor for me. The ice cream thing, all right, Coach made us give up something that we really, really liked. And I tried to give up something really cheesy, like something that would have been real easy. But no, he knew how important chocolate ice cream with hot fudge and chocolate sprinkles meant to me. And so that's what got taken out of my diet. And you better believe I worked my tail off to get that darn ice cream sundae. And up in Jacksonville, Florida, at JU, I don't even know, is JU even in the conference anymore? All right. Well, we were playing at Jacksonville University, and the night we won that championship, we went to Cold Stone Ice Cream, and I ate like a pig. But you know what? We were focused on the results, and I got one ice cream sundae before we flew out to California for the NCAA tournament. That was it, one ice cream sundae. And believe it, to this day, I can hardly eat chocolate anymore. It's a shame. But, you know, it is what it is. Now, the one thing when you're talking about results is that you're going to run into negative people in your life. Because you're going to have either red lights or you're going to have green lights. And the red lights are going to say you can't do it, and the green lights are going to be cheering you all the way. So, there's 5 different people here. So you have a refresher, and they inspire your dream. They inspire your talent. Okay, these are the people that you really want to hang out with. So for that, that's my mom and dad. That's my grandmother that's looking down at me from up above. That's my mentor, John Maxwell. That's my friends. That's my family. Those are the people that I want to surround myself with because they excite me to go on with what my vision is. You have a refiner, and basically they sharpen your ideas. So those are the people that you go to, you come up with an idea, you have a project you want to do, you go talk to them and brainstorm with them, mastermind with them. Kind of come up with different strategies and different ways of getting things done. You know, for me, that's some of my mentors. It's some of my best girlfriends. The reflectors, those are people who mirror you. They mirror your energy. They're not above, not below. They don't add value. They don't subtract value. They just they even you out. So that's some of my friends and some of my mentors. Reducers, these are people who are going to reduce your vision to fit in to their comfort zone. And there are people out there that are like that. What am I going to do? So I have to deal with the situation as it comes, okay? People who are reducers, they're generally insecure, all right? They're not secure in their own vision, they're not secure in their own talent, and they're lacking self-esteem. So my suggestion is run from those people. And the final one is a rejecter. And they're going to deny your talent, and they're going to reduce your vision. And I had that. I had that in my life from a very young age. I had a volleyball coach when I was 12 years old. Never believed in me at all. And came here. She used to come to all the games. I think she just came to try and see me lose or try and see me screw up. But when we won the conference championship, there was never a congratulations. And when I got inducted into the Hall of Fame, there was a never, you know what, great job. And do you think that this person's in my life? Not at all. I don't care how many champions she claims to have produced. I'm not interested in having people like that in my life. So focus on your strengths and manage your weaknesses. All right? Let's see. We've got football. So, Dre, you defend the quarterback because you're strong at defending the quarterback, right? But if I gave you Marcelo's job of kicking a field goal, that might not be where your strength zone is, right? Eric, what stroke do you swim? Or do you dive?
I swim.
Okay.
Distance freestyle.
Okay, so distance freestyle. So if I told you that I need you to do the butterfly, are you going to be like, okay, or no? No, okay. I got track and field. So where's my sprinters in the room? Come on, where's the fast girls? All right, well, we're all fast. Well, okay, so who does long distance? All right, so now, if I put you at the 50, to do a 50-yard dash, what's going to happen? It's not going to be that fast because that's not your strength, right? So on a team situation, we put people in their strength zones, and then we manage the weaknesses because we have other people to complement that. In the business world, we have to put a team together, for me personally, that complements me. I'm great at starting things, but my follow-through is pathetic, okay? I love to communicate and I love to speak, but putting this PowerPoint together was like pulling teeth. I mean, this is not my strength zone. Techie stuff is not my strength zone. I had to bring my husband to video this because I got all paranoid that I was going to have to set this up and figure it out. And then I gave the job to my dad, and then, whew, no. So you have to manage, you have to, stay in your strength zone, because it's much easier to go from a 7 to a 9 in something that you're good at than to go from a 2 to a 4 in something that you're not good at. When I was in medical sales, we used to have to do these performance reviews, or whatever it is, 360-degree feedback every quarter or every 6 months. And every 6 months, no joke, my weakness was administrative work, paperwork, expense reports. So then I'd have to put on there, how am I going to fix that? How am I going to do it better? And you know what happened 6 months later? You know what my weakness was? Administrative work and expense reports. Because I didn't want to change that. My strength was being out in the field. It was being with customers. It was interacting with people. It was selling. It wasn't sitting behind a desk, fiddling around with expense reports and Excel spreadsheets. So now I have to actually hand that off to somebody else. So I have to have somebody else do my bookkeeping, and I have to have somebody else do my expense reports and all that kind of stuff, because that's just not where my time's going to be well spent. Responsibility. So we're halfway there. Don't freak out. I'll make it quick. But success on any scale requires you to accept responsibility. And like it says, the moment you take responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you can change anything in your life. So, if I say these names, Tiger Woods, what comes to mind? Yeah, he went from a tiger to a cheetah, right? If I say, yeah, he's rich, but if I say Barry Bonds, what is it? Steroids. Yeah. Yeah, he's rich too, but What about Michael Vick? Yeah, he's rich too, I know, but if I say Michael Vick, what do you think? The crazy pit bull fighting, right? These say to me irresponsibility, people thinking that they're bigger than who they actually are, and maybe they feel that they're a little bit invincible, right? Well, they're rich, I can do what I want, Well, guess what? The only person I saw that's invincible is a superhero, and I have not seen Superman sitting in this room. I haven't seen Spider-Man. I haven't seen Wonder Woman come flying in. So bottom line is, we have to be responsible. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this movie, but you're going to have to, quiet again, only because we don't have sound.
So, Coach, how comes West Beach? How strong we are. Already rich Friday night down at the Lost Brook. Well, not if I know we can beat them. Okay, Rob. Take care. What? You want to go to the starting? I can go to the 50 if nobody's on my back.
You can do it with Jeremy on your back, but even if you can, I want you to promise me you're going to do your best.
All right.
Your best. Okay. You're going to give me your best.
I'm going to give you my best.
All right, one more thing. I want you to do it blindfolded.
Why?
I want you giving up at a certain point when you can go further. Sit down. Jeremy, get on his back. Good tight hold, Jeremy. All right. Let's go, Brock. Keep your knees off the ground. Just your hands and feet. There you go. A little bit left. A little bit left. There you go. Show me good effort. All the way, Brock. Keep coming. Very best. Your very best. Your very best. Keep moving, Brock. That's it. That's it. That's it. Keep going. Don't quit on it. Keep going. Keep driving. Keep driving. Keep your knees off the ground. That's it. Your very best. Don't quit on it. Your very best. Keep driving. Keep driving. There you go. There you go. That's it. You keep driving. Keep your knees off the ground. Keep driving. Don't quit till you got nothing left. Don't give up on me, Brock. You keep going. You hear me? You keep going. You're doing good. You keep going. Keep going, Brock. Come on. Keep going. 20 more steps. 20 more. Keep going, Brock. Give me your best. Don't quit. No. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Don't quit. More. Keep going. Don't quit. Give me your arm. You can. You can. 5 more. 5 more. Come on, Brock. Come on. Don't quit. Don't quit. Come on, Brock. 2 more. 1 more. Let's go to 50. How many more? Look up, Brock. You're in the end zone. Brock, you are the most influential player on this team. If you walk around defeated, so will they. Don't tell me you can't give me more than what I've been seeing. You just carried a 140-pound man across this whole field in your arms. Brock, I need you. God's gifted you with the ability of leadership. Don't waste it. Huh? Can I count on you? Yes.
Coach,
What is it, Jeremy?
I weigh 160.
He weighs 160. Whoops. Bottom line is, if you desire success or honor off the court, you need to make responsibility your choice. Here's the thing, as a student athlete, like Coach said to him, he's a major influence on this team. If he's defeated, everybody else feels defeated. Bottom line, leadership's influence, nothing more, nothing less. You influence people every day. You influence your roommates, your teammates, your family, people in the community. You have fans, you have friends, and you have foes, okay? The foes are always going to look for you to screw up so that they have something to talk about. You have the old and the young, you know? You don't discriminate who comes to your games and supports you and cheers you on, but you have a responsibility to them to be a positive influence. As a successful student athlete here, I had immense responsibility leading my team, influencing the youth. We used to do a lot with the youth. We used to have women's sports day here where the girls would come and stay at our apartments or our dorm rooms, and then they would shadow us all day and they would go through a day in the life of a student athlete. I actually got involved in my school. I don't know, do you guys still have the Student Athletic Advisory Committee? Yeah? Okay, I was the president of that. So that was responsibility that I had. Football boys up here? Uh-huh. You're sitting here because of a task force that I was on in 1998 to bring football to this college. I was on a task force with Coach Schnellenberger, sitting way over in the education department in a huge stadium seating, arena like this, planting the seeds of how to get football here. So, of course, when I drove in today, I was like, holy cow, this looks nothing like when I was here back in the day. I won't tell you when, well, you kind of get an idea when I told you I was here in 95 to 98. But, I mean, I drove in seeing the football stadium, alumni center, some workout facility that looks at the stadium. I was trying to figure out what that was as I was riding over the speed bumps. This is nothing like FAU was when I was here 15 years ago. But it's an awesome place to be now, and it's only getting greater. But the one thing is, responsibility strengthens your talent and increases your opportunities for long-term success. So 4 different ways that that's going to do that. It provides a foundation for success. That's without a doubt. It also leads to more responsibility. And I mentioned that to you. I was the captain of the volleyball team as a freshman. You do a good job at that, they want you to become involved in the athletic department. You get good at that, then they hand you some other jobs. And all in the meanwhile, you've got responsibility of being a role model for other people. Was it always easy? Was doing what I did always easy? Is it easy to lead your team? No. Is it easy to influence the youth. No, these youth right now, I tell you, I'm doing Youth Leadership Week in the beginning of May, and I'm hoping to get through to some of these youth. You know, what about getting involved in your school? How many people are involved in something in school right now, other than athletics? All right, so I've got a couple hands. All right, how easy is it to, what was the final thing that I said? Influence the youth, get involved in your community. How many people are getting involved in their community? All right, okay, it's manly to get involved. Watch what happens at the end of this presentation. Thing is, was it always easy? No. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Because everything I did molded me into who I am today and molded me into developing the qualities I needed to be successful. Was I always perfect? Yeah, my mom could say no. Did I fail? You want to know how? Oh, see, everybody always wants to know how I fail because that's the fun thing. It's always fun to see how everybody else messes up. Okay, perfect example. I rollerbladed from my apartment to school one day. No knee guards, no wrist guards, and no goofy helmet. Cut off shorts and a bathing suit top. I'm rollerblading through, and who drives by me? My coach. Although it was in the rules that you didn't rollerblade. And you didn't do anything that was going to risk you getting hurt because you're on the school's dime, right? So what ended up happening to me? Timed miles twice a day for an entire week. Because I had to suffer the consequence of being irresponsible and disobeying the rules of the team. Let's see, what's another one? Negative attitude. That was irresponsible to my team. And what ended up happening to me, I got yanked. I got to sit on the sidelines. I got to watch the team play, which is the most painful thing that you could do to somebody like any of us in here, you know? Partying. I mean, bottom line is, I know we're all late teens, early 20s, and we're away from mom and dad, and we want to have a good time, and that's cool, but you got to be responsible. Because you wear a shirt like that, FAU swimming and diving, and you're out there acting like a bozo, drunk somewhere, you know, that's a reflection on the school, a reflection on your team, you know, and a reflection on you. You don't know who you are. I mean, I'll tell you, it's very surprising sometimes when people are like, oh, I recognize you. And you're like, oh, great, you know, let me make sure I was doing the right thing. So I don't know what everybody's personal experience is or what your personal history is with responsibility. So if I assume, which is risky, why? Come on, somebody knows what assume means. Yeah, makes an ass out of you and me. Anyway, I don't know. Let's just say that you've had a poor history with responsibility. How are we going to make you talent plus in this area? Start where you are. Like this says, don't wait for something big to happen. Start where you are with what you have, and that'll always lead you to something great. Start small. If you see that there's an area that you're not responsible in, work on that. Baby steps, you know? You got to take baby steps. You got to crawl before you walk. You got to walk before you run. Take baby steps, but you can never start from anywhere other than where you are right now. Choose your friends wisely. I'm going to hone this one in. Choose friends wisely. Like elevator buttons, they'll either take you up or down. And my mom always used to say to me, show me your friends and I'll tell you what you are. This guy in the book, I don't know his name, Kevin somebody, he says, choose your friends wisely because that's the path and the direction that you're going to go. Now, it always used to frustrate me, and I always used to get very defensive when people would kind of guide me to stay away from certain people. Because you build relationships. You want to hold on to those relationships. That's where we feel comfortable. That's where we feel secure. But I'll give you a real-life example of how one choice could have cost me everything. I had a girlfriend of mine that went out with us one night to Sunfest. You guys know what Sunfest is up there in West Palm, happens in the beginning of May. You know, concerts and everything. There's some pretty cool people coming this year. She decided to party a little bit different than how I've ever partied. But she decided to leave it in my car, okay? So I go to work the next week, and I've got my manager riding in the car with me, and he says, you know, do you got something in your car? And I said, no, sir. And he says, are you sure? Because it sure smells like it. And I said, sir, I've never done that in my entire life. I have no idea what you're talking about. So I dropped my manager off. Literally, you got to remember this. I'm scouring the car everywhere. I mean, I'm tearing this thing apart. And sure enough, I find exactly what he was talking about. And I was like this. I was like shaking. Because what were the consequences for that? Never mind my manager finding it or being like, okay, yeah, you do have what I thought you had. Losing my job, my car, my income, everything. But what happened if I was driving in my company car and for whatever reason I got pulled over? Now what, I get pulled over for possession of something that's not mine? But then what? So, it's not always easy to have to cut off or exit relationships that aren't beneficial to you, but I'll tell you that your future success depends upon it. I can't surround myself with people that are going to step in the way of where I'm going. Stop blaming others. This one will be fun. So, as the chicken says, you've got a problem with avoiding personal responsibility, and the other chicken says, yeah, whose fault is that? How often does this happen? I was so good at this. I was like the master victim. I like to blame everybody else because then I could focus on their problems and avoid mine, right? So, avoiding personal responsibility is the easy way to go. So, what I want you to look at that picture. What do you notice about the picture? Awesome. Do you know that concept already? Okay. So, it's at Danielle? Dana. So, Dana said, is that there's one finger pointing at you, but there's three pointing at me, right? So the one thing you have to do is if you notice something in somebody that you just can't stand, and it happens, right? You got one finger pointing at them and three at you. You need to look in the mirror. Maybe it's something that you don't like about yourself that needs to be changed. But it's real easy to blame everybody else, right? On the court, what did I do? Oh, if they would have just played harder, we would have won. Right? You ever sit there and say, man, you know what, Alan, he ain't even practicing hard today. He's not giving it his all. And Mike, you know what, his mind's in another world. And flight uptown, 3 down, back there, he's on his cell phone. I caught you. Yeah, you. What sport? Okay, so what happened? Anybody? Let's see, where's the other basketball players? All right, so what happens? Is it Andre? Andre, sometimes, is he cell phoning on the court? Misses a pass, misses a shot, you know? It's really easy to point the finger and say, you know what, it's somebody else's fault as to why we didn't do what we needed to do. But at that point, you need to say to yourself, you know what? Was my head in another world? Or was I not giving it my all? Take personal responsibility. At home, all right, this one will hit home with everybody. If I hadn't come from such a dysfunctional background, then I wouldn't be dealing with the stuff I'm dealing with today. If life hadn't dealt me such crap, I wouldn't have to deal with this. You know what I say? What do they say? When life hands you lemons? Nah, squeeze it in the mean people's eyes and hope it, you know, makes them cry. No, I'm just kidding, but I had to make you guys laugh. All right, in relationships. How many people in here are in relationships? How many people? All right, I'm no relationship expert. Ask my husband. I'm not going to really go too deep into this, but how often do we say, oh, if he would have just done this, or if she would have just done this, then I'd feel loved, or I'd feel this. You know, we always want to blame it on somebody else without looking at how we could make that better. And in the classroom, how often do we say, oh man, that teacher, she's out to get me. She made that test so hard. No. Did you guys take personal responsibility and not study? Did you decide to go out instead of doing your homework? You know, you got to look at your part. So, you guys can shout it out at me. Who have you blamed in the past for your circumstances? Oh, all right. Well, hey, at least we got some, acceptance over here. But who have we blamed? You blame everybody but yourself. Exactly. And it takes a lot of maturity and a lot of acceptance to realize that we have a part in things. And it also takes a lot of maturity and a lot of acceptance to look at our part and to change what it is that we need to change in order to make things different. So the thing is, yeah, bad things happen. Yeah, we make mistakes. But like this says, when something bad happens, you have three choices. You let it destroy you. You let it define you, because I can't read in order. Or you can let it strengthen you. All right? That's your choice. But bottom line is, you make a mistake, be thankful for that. Because I'll tell you what, your best lessons are going to be from your biggest failures. Your best lessons are going to be from the biggest mistakes you've made. The book that I'm writing right now, yeah, it may be on success, but boy, there's been a lot of stumbling along the way. And what you do is you are thankful for it, you look for the lesson to be learned in it, and then you change what you can, and you do it better the next time. It's that simple. So remain teachable to the lessons that responsibility has for you. Gaining success means practicing self-discipline. Dre said that earlier when we were talking about what it takes to be successful. Start what you finish. That's always challenging sometimes, especially in our busy lives. We can start projects, we can start things, but we don't necessarily finish them. I told you myself, I'm great at starting things, I'm terrible at finishing them. Okay, you know what I was doing at noon this afternoon? Printing out those handouts. Okay, because I was flying all over the country this month, dealing with, issues with my mom, and then, putting presentations together. This afternoon at 2 o'clock, I'm like, oh, maybe I should run through this thing for one time. Maybe I should practice, I don't think my speaking coach would be too happy with me, but that video's for him. Know when others are depending on you. Don't expect somebody else to step in and do what you need to do. All right, live beyond yourself. There's a lot of athletes out there that are doing things and being very charitable and living beyond themselves. And whether you personally like them or not, that's not why they're up there. But Tim Tebow, he's got the Tebow Foundation. Mission of Tim Tebow Foundation is to bring faith, hope, and love to those needing a brighter day in their darkest hour of need. Whether you like him or not, I've met him, and he is amazing. I'm going to dinner with him on May 2nd, and I actually am so excited about it. LeBron James, okay? We may be happy or not that he's with the Miami Heat, but his foundation is committed to creating and supporting events that demonstrate its dedication to the community while simultaneously creating special memories for families in need. And then Arnold Palmer, you guys might be too young for Arnold Palmer, but he was a professional golfer. This one's in honor of my dad. He caddied for Arnold Palmer, actually. But Arnold Palmer, he has hospitals all throughout. He has women and baby hospitals. He has children's hospitals. He's associated with the Cancer Center. So here's the thing. You and I might not be in a financial situation yet to do something to this magnitude, right? But what can you do? What can you do to live beyond yourself right now? Volunteer. All right, what else? Anybody? There's a lot of different things you can do. Volunteer in your community, offer to be a big brother or little sister. Reach out to those kids that come to your game. I've got my stepson here, and he was like, man, we went by the football stadium. He was like, oh my gosh, is that a real football stadium? Because he plays football now, right? So you guys are role models to him, okay? Because I said, you're going to meet the football players from FAU. And you know what? You guys are just as big shots as anybody else that's out there right now. So that's really cool for him. And so you influence the youth. All right? What will your story be? When I was sitting in your shoes, or when I was sitting in your seats, or when I was walking in your shoes, I never really thought about what my story was going to be. I didn't really think that anybody would be interested in it. But now that I'm writing a book, I know that I have to figure out what my story is. And I'm having to go back to my days when I was in athletics here and working in medical sales and doing all these different things. But if you want to write your life to be a magnificent story, remember you're the author. And every day you have a chance to add a new page to that story. And I'm going to ask you to fill that with pages of responsibility to yourself and to others. So bottom line, I thank you for the time that we were able to share together. I hope that these are techniques and different things that you can apply to your life both on and off the court. But bottom line is, you can have success or you can make excuses. You can't do both. So you have to decide, and hopefully you'll choose today. So with that, thank you for coming, and I hope you guys have an awesome season, whether it's spring season or who's in their season right now. Anybody? Okay, awesome. Good luck to you guys. Thank you.